Cap and trade versus carbon tax. Carbon tax has been viewed as a useful and necessary tool to combat climate change, making cap and trade, another similar tool, is also proven to be effective, has it? By putting a cap on the quantity of emissions. By making emissions costlier, by putting a cap on. While a carbon tax sets the price of CO2 emissions and allows the market to determine the amount of reduced emissions, a cap and trade system sets the quantity of emissions allowed, which can then be used to estimate the decline in the rise of global temperatures. What? Okay. So cap and trade literally just means putting a hold on... Wait, I think this is wrong. Why would it be called cap and trade if it was just putting a limit on how much you could emit? That doesn't make much sense. By providing economic incentives for reducing the emission of pollutants. The concept known as cap and trade or emissions trading scheme. Carbon emission trading has been introduced in China, the EU's... In an emissions trading scheme, a central authority or governmental body allocates or sells a limited number, or a cap, of permits that allow a discharge specific quantity of a specific pollutant over a set time period. Polluters are then required to hold permits in amount to equal their emissions. Polluters that want to increase their emissions must buy permits from others willing to sell them. Okay, but I don't like this. Haven't there been adverse effects here that have led to some corporations getting away with polluting even more because they just bought up the additional carbon credits that other less polluting corporations emitted? That's how Tesla makes most of their money, selling their carbon credits. Surely not most of their money. Tesla carbon credit sales reach record 1.78 billion in 2022. Wow, that's great. Love that. So is this because Tesla is so over-evaluated in the market, they're given an obscene number of carbon credits, so then they just turn around and sell them for even more profit? It's literally just like the government. It's just another government subsidy. Companies that exceed emission standards set by regulatory bodies can purchase carbon credits from companies like Tesla that are generating carbon offset credits through the reduction of greenhouse gas emissions. What are carbon offset credits? A transferable instrument certified... Okay, carbon offset credits, Tesla. I don't see anything about Tesla having credits given for... I think this is made up. Carbon offset credits. I don't see anything by that name. By doing so, they can comply with regulations without having to make significant changes to their own operations. Wow. Is this being sold as a positive? Companies that exceed emissions can just buy carbon credits off of Tesla. Therefore, they can comply with regulations without having to make significant change to their own operation. This is being sold as a positive. They're not made up. Tesla sells them to other companies so they don't have to make changes. Yeah, that's the carbon credits, but I'm talking about the carbon offset credits. Is that a specific other thing? It's the same thing. Okay, then I don't know why they call it offset here. Okay. Same thing, yes, okay. Then this is also lying to Tesla's benefit. Tesla are generating carbon offset credits through the reduction of greenhouse gas emissions. Tesla isn't generating carbon credits through the reduction of greenhouse gas emissions. They're just being given carbon credits by the government because of their market evaluation. Not because they're reducing anything. Oh my god, dude. Ideology. How it's a failure in Australia. Australia's most popular carbon credit scheme, human-induced regeneration, questioned by experts. Billions of dollars being made from carbon farming. The premise is simple. Encourage Australian forests to regenerate to help draw down carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. There are forests in Australia? Unlike other methods of carbon farming, it doesn't involve planting trees. Rather, landholders are paid to stop whatever activity has been suppressing tree growth, whether that's clearing, grazing, farming, or feral animals, so forests can regenerate. Every ton of carbon dioxide stored in these trees is worth 1 carbon credit, which can then be sold to the government or business that wants to offset its emissions. So if you're a lumber company, you can be like, we're not going to lumber this year. Can I get good boy points for not lumbering this year? Oh, here's some good boy points. So the government is literally just giving money hand over fist to companies for not ruining the environment, rather than for healing it. Oh my god, dude. Oh my god. This is literally the same thing as the Cobra bounty in India. Yeah, I think I know about that one. Bosch, carbon offsets and credits are not the same thing as cap and trade. Yeah, people keep saying that. Emissions trading, the concept known as cap and trade. People keep saying that. I don't think that's true. I think they are the same thing, or like it's a subcategory or whatever. Like it's a part of it. The vast majority are performing badly. By that, I mean over 80% of projects, their tree cover has either gone nowhere or it's gone backwards since the project was first registered. Wow, great. Companies are buying land and doing nothing with it so they get more carbon credits. You know that the law, like the writing on the law for Australia for this one, was literally just like written by a corporate stooge, you know? Because this is such an obvious loophole. Industry frustrated by allegations. Sky Glenday, the co-CEO of Climate Friendly, shows us around a property she said is a great example of how HIR projects work. Carbon Friendly is a carbon services provider that helps landowners farm carbon. Stop! Oh. They support around 160 HIR projects covering about 10 million hectares of land. It's really about improving degraded lands and how we did it. I don't know. Changing the way the land has been managed. Typically, it's been overgrazed and cleared for quite a long time, and the point of the project is to stop that overgrazing and clearing so immature trees can regenerate the forest cover. The government should not be giving them money for doing nothing. They're literally just landowners. This is literally just landowners paying rent, except they don't have to pay property taxes on a bunch of this shit. Literally, oh my God. The highest form of rent seeking. Vosh, it's not the government paying its other corpos. Yeah, other corpos paying for the carbon credits, but that's still the government effectively giving them money by giving them the credits. The government pays them with the credits, and then they sell the credits for the money, but they're still being given by the government, like effectively a currency. And they sell that currency, which makes them rich, and then the corporations that are given the credits in exchange for money then go on to pollute more than they could have otherwise. It's a racket. It's literally they literally just created a new magic bullshit way of polluting and making money for nothing.
It's a system of marketable permits that is because now this firm.
Sorry, I'm bored now. Have emissions gone down in Australia? Probably. Emissions have gone down in most developed countries because we've gotten better about just like efficiency and the types of chemicals we use and all that crap. Yeah, it's gone down, but maybe not because of this. They made this video boring to keep the common man... Or sorry, they made this Wikipedia article boring to keep the common man from reading it. I might give it a look sometime, Black in the Borg. Vosh, plenty of cap and trade systems are bad, but it's an implementation problem, not a problem with the theory. I don't think you should be able to trade it, is the thing. I think that carbon emissions should just cost you, no matter what. Like if you want to put a market disincentive to pollution, then fine. Do it. But don't let people trade it around. Certainly not between each other. Maybe have it so people can sell it back to the government as a monetary incentive for doing well and not meeting like a given amount. You know, I don't know. Credits are essentially a way to subsidize green tech. Tesla gets credits for manufacturing green tech, and that gets the money from other... Yeah, I also don't think that we should subsidize electric vehicles. Why not? Because the production of an electric car still emits a ton of energy. B, electric vehicles aren't the solution. You know, we need people using public transit. And C, the use of electric vehicles continues to keep Americans hooked on car development when car development and car infrastructure are like the things. Well, there's a lot that goes into it, but is definitely a significant part of the problems we're having when it comes to curtailing our energy use. An early example of an emission trading system has been sulfur dioxide trading system under the framework of the Acid Rain program. Okay, I will acknowledge that there are versions of emission trading systems that could potentially be functional, but I don't think it's a coincidence that like every time it happens, it seems to be some kind of like new way for corporations to make money at the expense of the taxpayer. Nah, you can't keep people hooked in it forever, Yanka. Gotta move away. The taxpayer doesn't pay for cap and trade, it's just companies jerking each other off. No, that's not true. They do. Because the increased cost of goods for the companies that are purchasing the carbon credits will be funneled down into the goods and services they provide, like in a broader economic sense. And also there's the general economic harm being done to the emissions in general. Like the government should just be making money off the corporate. It should just be like a fun, like it's we're like roundabouting this, you know? The government should just take money if you pollute, I feel. Cap and trade was also the Republican plan in the 90s, so it's obviously good for businesses, Vosh. Well, yeah, it's not a radical solution. But those price increases would happen from taxes or bans too, no matter what. Reducing pollution means increasing costs and later prices. No, I think I disagree. I think there's a meaningful difference between corporations buying carbon credits from other entities to give themselves leeway to pollute more than to just paying the government directly a cost or a fine. I feel like there's a meaningful economic difference there, even though they're functionally paying for the same thing. I mean, for one, the money's going to the government as opposed to another corporation. Maybe that's the big thing. Maybe I just hate the idea of people profiting off of this and not just getting, like, the government getting kickbacks for corporations fucking up. Again, in the best case scenario, the corpos winning out and getting paid the most, the ones reducing pollution. Yeah, but that's not really what's happening. Carbon trading schemes have tended to reward the heaviest polluters with windfall profits when they are granted enough carbon credits to match historic production. Expensive long-term structural changes will not be made if there are a cheaper source of carbon credits, which are often available from less developed countries. Oh, man. We haven't even talked about international carbon tax or carbon credit trading, where if American factories want to pollute more or whatever, they can buy carbon credits from India or some shit. Or I don't know. India probably pollutes more than we do. In fact, they definitely do. So maybe the other way around. I don't know. It's still bad. No, some people can have cars, Durkee, but like, you know, it's like we're living in a house made of Jello, and I'm like, maybe we should dial back the Jello and maybe have some like wooden floors that we can walk on rather than just kind of swimming through an amorphous blob of Jello. And you're like, what? So we can't have Jello anymore. Like I can't eat Jello as a little snack at night. You know, like we're so far away from car bans. Implementing a tax on emissions appears to be one of the possible alternatives to cap and trade system. However, although Sweden has had success with implementing carbon taxes, they have not gained much attention as a potential alternative to emission trading systems in international climate negotiations. There are two reasons why taxes are not more prominent in the global discussion. Firstly, the concept of taxation is often considered politically unfeasible due to resistance from conservative politicians and economic actors, particularly in the United States, who are opposed to the idea of taxes. Whatever.